Okay, so the next question, one of our students has since I am from Buddhist family, I have heard ultimate bliss or Sukhavita place so many times. I really doubt there is some place like that or not. I have an argument with my family members so many times. So do you think there is a place like that where good people will go after they die? So in tied to our previous discussion, the ultimate bliss, the Sukhavita that you refer is the heavenly realm in terms of in Buddhist the worldview. So some Buddhists are praying to go there within their life. So they are keen to pray to the Buddha and do some good deed and make donations to the people or to the temple and trying to go to the better place in the next life. Okay, so I'm giving you the very short answer based on what we discussed. If you do good decisions right now, will result the better. I mean, if you do good cause right now and good decisions, okay, and it will result better the consequences. So that's the key, and you are the one who make that call. Okay, so I already mentioned, since you are the make that call, there is no such a thing is already built in for you. You are the one who built that place. So if someone believe from their faith group that there is a heaven, you don't have to argue with them because it's very hard to break their concept. You don't have to, even convert them or change their mind because it's their pure belief system that they have. You may not feel that it's comfortable to to have that, to accept their ideas, but you're trying to understand them in different layer of perspective. Some people having belief system just purely by someone, from their cultural background, and they take it as it is. So I would say that's the very purely accepted mindset. However, it's not challenged enough. Someone like us who are truly intend to study the Buddhism more critically, challenging many different angles, and then you build your own belief system with that out of that box, and still can survive, and telling that you understand it and you truly can follow what it is, then you're good. You're actually better than average person. That's why you are here to discuss all these religions, right? So that's your challenge, not others, not your parents. So you don't need to challenge someone that you do not know, you do not cope with. So again, that if you, let's focus on ourselves first, okay? So whatever we do, we'll make result in next life. So that could be like you mentioned, Sukha Vita, the ultimate bliss, ultimate heaven, or 지러스제, 극락세계, whatever it is. That's the terminology, okay? That's the terminology that is meant to be explained to you and me from someone who coming from thousands and hundreds and thousands of years ago. So remember, those terminologies are all human-made. Those terminologies is meant to let you understand your mental condition can reach to that level if you put your own efforts. So let's focus. That's the mental condition. Whatever you see, whatever you touch in front of you, it looks such a real. But in Buddhism, it's all part of our mental conditions, mental formations. So even this human realm in our world, in real Buddhism, we'll talk about the real thing. Okay, I'm making up some, I'm just playing some word. In real Buddhism, this is also part of mental formations. So whatever when you say mental formation means that's not real. Isn't it amazing? Whatever you see, whatever you touch, whatever you sense from your sense organ is like a video game. Like what we do, we communicating through this video, which is not real. We're communicating through this virtual world. So even if just this video, conferencing is just purely, if you in just thinking about in physical world, this is purely meaningless, purely just a vibration of the electrons. But why you make sense? It makes sense to you after it transpire from my end, and maybe a couple of hours later you receive it and you open up this video and listen to yourself and it makes sense to you or confuse you, whatever it is. That is because there is a linkage between my consciousness and your consciousness. But in between, there is a huge gap of emptiness. So I wish I can discuss this with you in classroom setting, so I can get more make sense to you, just looking at you, eye to eye. But it's the same thing. Even in the classroom, we're still in between the space, and we're still make this communication through this audio visual communication. And all this happening in down to earth, in deep down, is very subtle change of movement of your the energy, but those energy are just vibration of your mental uh, formations. So maybe it's a little too deep. I'm sorry, we have to I have to not go too far. Some of you may interesting to hear about this. Some of you are maybe it just more confuse you. So I'll get to this subject, okay? I'll get to this a little bit, step by step. So get back to your question. You can answer two ways. Yes, there is a better place. So if you say better place to your parents, that means you are not breaking their faith. You don't have to ruin their faith and just after what happened if you ruin your faith and you cannot give them solutions. Okay, so respect your someone else's faith, and there's nothing wrong about it. Yes, there is a hell and heaven. Okay, as one as in religious belief system, in many different cultures and religious background has similar understanding. That means that is a common understanding of human beings. Most of the human beings has that experience. So it is undescribable, but that is a fact. Okay. But in second answer is you have to criticize to yourself. It's whatever it is, it could be unreal to you unless you make that happen. So thinking about you have to pulling back your own understanding of the reincarnation. Your mind has to focus on right here, right now, not your next life. That's not really helping us at this moment. The religion is much more helpful if you thinking about that, focusing on your conditions, your situation, your problem that you have in front of you. So that's the way you can focus for yourself to thinking about this issue. If you are make the decision right now, making a good decision, make you happy, then you are in Sukhavita. You are in heaven. Next moment, right away, you feel that. If you helping someone truly, sincerely, and you got that feedback right away, that someone show their gratitude, you're in heaven right there. There's no other thing you can describe. You are in heaven, and there's no difference than whatever heaven you're going to encounter next life. So if you're thinking about there is such a thing, heaven is like a 7-star hotel, in Las Vegas. Looks like that kind of place. You're in a wrong place to discuss. I can tell you, there's no such a thing. But you have to be. I wish you understand my, analogies. You have to accept two different truths. One is there is such a thing, and one is there's not such a thing. I'm telling you two answers, and that's very interesting way of Buddhist understanding. You accept both as a truth, and it doesn't contradict to each other. Okay, so I'm pretty sure it'll raise you to the next question, why you have these two answers. And I can tell you further um, if I have chance to discuss with you um, some other time, okay? So don't forget about to ask me more questions. You always can, raise question to me, and I can keep going and moving on to the next level. So there is no such, all these questions and all these discussions is not just firm, defined, and this is it. This is the, definition. No, actually, Buddhism is very live thing, living thing. There's many perspectives in almost like 360 perspectives to discuss. So there's no such a thing as only one answer. Okay, so there's many different answers, many different layers, and many different levels of the understanding. And what we discuss is only one very common, general way to discuss Buddhism, discuss religion. And if you are willing to discuss higher level or different perspective, I always challenge you just or you always can challenge yourself and challenging to me, and then we can go a little bit more further. So that's the beauty of the studying Buddhism, studying religion. And I wish you can, to get into that level. Okay, so next question. I found some Buddhists read sutras every day, but do something bad things every day as well. Do you think Buddha will still protect those who are double-sided face person? How could Buddha make a fair judgment on those people? And do you know how Buddha make their criteria to judge people? Okay, I'll tell you straight, Buddha doesn't make that judgments call. No one make that judgment. There's no such a Buddha make that judgment. That's more like a other religious, understanding. Okay, so I already answered you. There's Buddha doesn't make the judgments, and you are the one who make that judgment. Okay, no one else. So don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about what others do. Even that bothers you. Whatever bother is your mind. My mind is getting bothered. They doing fine. What they do, what they read, they are happy to read the sutras or Bibles or Korans. Everyone is happy except yourself because you have some questions to deal with. That is your question to deal with in your life, and that is your homework to 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 cope with. And I'm using term you, but it could be every single one of us. If you have questions in you that bothers you, that is my issue. I have to accept that. But it is so hard to accept it. It is so hard to just accept that single, thing because there's so many excuses in our life. We always look into things to make the judge to others. So if I'm not trying to offend anybody, But and I'm thankful that you brought this question to us. And this is actually applied to every single one of us. So it's not only one, specific to any person, including someone raised these questions. Okay, so please do not misunderstand it. I'm just make this example saying you as a general, and that includes me. So let's put it this way. When I see someone reading these sutras and they are doing bad things, who is in between? You are the one who saw that from that cause, whatever they do and whatever the result is not matching. Something is wrong, right? It's not cause and effect, is something is missing there. Who identified it? Me. So what can you do? What you should do? What should I do? I can tell you because because I don't see you, I cannot explain to you any other means, but the best advice is look back to yourself and thinking about that person is presenting that to helping you to understand, to getting better and grow up. So you don't have to be like that person. That person is make that presentation to you for you to grow. That person is your teacher. So if I'm bothered by that action and I'm trying to correct them, that might not be helpful to correct that person because I don't have that capacity yet. I do not know religion good enough, thorough enough to understand what is cause and effect. So whatever we see cause and effect, that's not enough yet. We have to admit that. There's many different, deeper meaning. Even though simple thing like this, someone is doing like dual-sided or does some whatever they do good outside but bad inside, those things you don't know. We do not know. I cannot make that judgment. So there's no such a person is Buddha punish those people. That's not possible. Buddha passed away 2,000 years ago. He died. He's not living forever. Whatever we believe in the temple, with the statue, that's a statue. That's not the real. If you're thinking that's a real Buddha, you are in some you do not realize what is Buddhism is all about. That is the image. Whatever you're worshiping, the image to helping you to cultivate, but that image is not real Buddha. And there's no such a Buddha, real Buddha somewhere in the universe that watch over you. You are the one who make that judgment to somebody that you saw and getting uncomfortable. And that getting uncomfortable issue is my issue. Have to deal with that. You have to be very carefully narrow it down, that uncomfortable mind that I have from what I see, then just observe it, what it is. What is that something of uncomfortableness that I have. Why I'm getting uncomfortable? I'm pretty sure no one tell you in this way, but throughout your internal meditation, you can identify those things. So if you're willing to just turning around your perspective, say that person is make that presentation to you, to he or she is teaching you to look back, this is wrong behavior, then you are focusing on this wrong behavior, not that person anymore. Okay, so you still can embrace that person as who he is or who she is, and you don't get emotional about from that behavior. So the key here is you don't get mental, reaction, emotional upside, emotional, I would say, eruption from whatever you've seen uncomfortable thing. So if you could make that happen, then you go for it. You can help, you can deal with others. I'm pretty sure you can handle it. But if you are getting slightly emotional, then you should hold that thoughts, and focusing on that emotion, not the person. Okay. So Buddhism is you're looking at your emotion in many different perspectives, in almost like a 3D, pulling your own, thoughts and looking at it, and you'll be surprised what's in there. Sometimes you never know, you'll find a really valuable thing that you're going to appreciate that person forever, because that person is teaching you the truth that I should not live like that. And how can I tell myself I'm not that hypocritic? I don't think anyone can free to say I'm not hypocritic. If you're digging into your mind very deeply, there is always something is coming, like a threat. And we are not make judgments to others, and you don't have to make judgment to yourself either. Judgment is not really helping here. You just looking at it, just accept it as it is, and just looking at that, and just observe it. There's like you observe the world. There are so many different things happening in this world, right? I cannot make that judgment to every single person. I cannot make just judgment to every single strange things happening in this world. There's so many weird things, so many crazy things are going on in this world, and we are living with that. We just observe it and just looking at it, and just understand that can be happen. sometimes. And using that perspective to look back yourself. There's so many things happening in our mind, and we just observe it, and just accept it. That happened. Sorry about myself. That happened. The other day, I just dream about my past, about the teacher who was in my middle school teacher, and she was a ethic teacher. In Taiwan, there is the course for ethics, and the teacher was teaching ethics in that school, and she was the one who helping me a lot, because I was a very troublesome, because I'm the only Korean in that school. Actually, I think I am the only foreign students in that Chinese speaking class. And I was working hard, I was studying hard, but I was having a little bit of the teenage issue, and she was helping me to carry on that process. And I haven't seen her after that, over 25 years. I never seen her, and I just dreamed her about 2 days ago, and I realized that I forgot to thank her in my life. That something was hidden in my consciousness somewhere. It's inside, and it just popped it up to my surface a couple of days ago. And once I realized it, once I observed that, then I just had a sense of understanding that how my life was formed by all these people, including this teacher. This teacher make myself who I am right now, and influence me deeply, which I did not aware for 25 years. So I just thank her personally in my mind, and that kind of clear my mindset, and so I'm I can be relieved from my childhood. So I think I'm a little bit deviated from your questions, but trying to answer is, no one judges anybody. You're the one who's judging everyone. So we have to stop judging that. We have to focus on who you are, observe whatever is happening in front of you, and observe that, including yourself. Observe your own self internally. And I bet that will help you to understanding of this Buddhism a little bit more deeper level. And then we can go from there. We can discuss a little bit more from that, if you are willing to accept it. Okay, so I apologize if that is not the answer that you're looking for, but since you asked, I give you my answer. Okay, and if you are having more questions, actually this is good. We can I'm welcome to ask me, challenge me more questions. All right, let me close this here.